Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all. Welcome back to Swaroop IT Learning Solutions. So, in this particular video series, we are continuing to learn installing, configuring, and managing VMware Hypervisor version 8.x infrastructure. So, now in this particular video, we will practically execute following steps. So, this will be the fourth video in this particular chapter, that is 12D. So what we will learn in this particular video, so we are continuing with your model updates and servicing VMware vSphere 8.x infra updates and servicing module. Now in this particular chapter we will be updating VMware vSphere ESXi server from version 8.0 update 3b build number 2428067 to version 8.0 update 3e 246777879. Okay, now in the last module we have done the same thing through CLI session. Now in this particular module we will do it through GUI session. So the method will be VMware vSphere ESXi host update through vCenter GUI baseline mode. Okay, so let's start. So the first step for this is checking the ESX host version through vCenter web UI menu, host and clusters, summary. So let's go back to our DC system first. And here I will log in to our vCenter server with the administrator credentials. Now here you can see inside the inventory we are into ESXHOST cluster and then ESXHOST01, and here it is a summary. So in the summary we can see over here the existing version 8.0.3 242.807.67. Okay, so as we have seen, ESXi version showing 8.0.3 242.807.67. So this is the correct one. Okay, but this is the older one. Now we will update it. Okay, so next step is we need to copy our VMware ESXi 8.0 U3E 246.74464, that is a next version depot.zip file from our main machine to our DC system local desktop. So I will just copy it and then come back to you. Alright, so we have copied our ESXi latest version depot.zip file in our DC systems local desktop. So this particular step we have completed. Let's move on to the next step. So next step is through vCenter web UI ESXHOST cluster VMs, make sure that Win11 CLVM which is running on ESXHOST02 is powered off. Now why we need to check this? Because we are patching or we are updating our ESXHOST02 first. Okay, not ESXHOST01. First we are updating our ESXHOST02, and for that we need to put this particular ESXHOST into maintenance mode. So for putting any ESXHOST in a maintenance mode, those virtual machines which are running on that ESXHOST should be powered off. Okay, otherwise the maintenance mode will fail. So for that purpose, first of all we will check whether our Windows 11 CL VM is powered off on ESXHOST02 or not. So we'll go back to our DC system. We will open ESXHOST02 and under this VMs are there, and you can see the Windows 11 CL machine is powered off. Okay, so it's already powered off, so we have just confirmed that. Let's move on to the next step. So next step is, now through vCenter Web UI, ESXHOST and clusters, right click on ESXHOST02 and click on maintenance mode and enter maintenance mode. Okay, so before patching we need to put this particular ESXHOST in maintenance mode anyhow. Okay, so I'm right clicking on ESXHOST02 and here there is an option called maintenance mode. Click on that and say enter maintenance mode. Okay, so it will one more time ask for the confirmation. So host in maintenance mode does not perform any activities on virtual machines, including virtual machines provisioning. The host configuration is still enabled. The enter maintenance mode task does not complete until the above state is completed. As I said, your virtual machine should be off. So that's what it is just confirming. In other words, you might need to either power off or migrate the virtual machines from the host manually, right? You can cancel the enter maintenance mode task anytime. What we don't want to cancel, I will just say okay, and one more time I will just say okay. So this machine, this Windows 11 CL has automatically been disappeared, as you can see over here, and it is automatically been migrated to ESXHOST01. Correct? Although it is powered off, but still it has been vMotion to ESXHOST01, and now ESXHOST02 is in maintenance mode. Right? So you can see over here ESXHOST02 maintenance mode. Okay. So our maintenance mode has been enabled because we need to patch this ESXHOST02. Correct? Now let's move on to the next step. So as we have already done this, click OK twice for confirmation. So we have already entered into maintenance mode. So make sure that ESXHOST02 has been entered into maintenance mode. This is also we have confirmed. Okay, so next step is, now we need to import our zip file depot updates. Okay, so through vCenter Web UI, menu, lifecycle manager, image depot, actions, import updates, and then we need to browse our depot.zip file, and we need to import that particular updates through that zip file. So what I'm going back to my vCenter server, click on the main menu, and there is an option called lifecycle manager. Okay, so under lifecycle manager, image depot and actions. So image depot and actions, and there is an option called import updates. Okay, now here I will browse and I will give the path of my zip file, so it will immediately start to import or upload our updates. Okay, so now we are importing our updates through our depot zip file. Alright, so we have finished updating or uploading our depot.zip file. We have imported the updates, and within that single zip file you can see two versions are visible. This 8.0.u3 246592227 and 246744644. So we need to select the first one while creating the baseline. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. So next step is through your vCenter web UI, then main menu, lifecycle manager, baseline, new baseline. We need to select the new baseline. Okay, so I'm coming back here, and here we are already in the lifecycle manager menu. I will select on baseline. I will say new baseline over here. So we are creating a new baseline over here. Okay, next step is we need to give an appropriate name for our baseline and description for new baseline. So what I'm doing is I'm just giving baseline a particular name, so our build name or something like that. So I will just copy this matter, copy, and here I will just give ESX update, and then I remove this, sorry, ESX update, and here in the description we can give this name. Okay, okay, it's not taking, leave it. So and now next is, you can give any name by the way. Next is select content as patch and click next. So I will select the content as patch and click next. So in the next step, under select patches automatically, we need to deselect the options automatically update this baseline and click next. So I will remove this option. We don't want to automatically update this baseline, and I will say next. And now you can see there are two versions are visible, as I said in the previous part also. So we need to select the latest one which we want to update our ESX host to. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. So under select patches, manually select patch with the build ESXi update 3E 246744464. So I'm selecting that one, 246744464. You can see this is a bit older, this is a newer. So I will select the newer one. I will say next. Okay. And now we need to click the finish to create the new ESX patch baseline. So I will click on finish over here, and you can see over here that our ESX update baseline has been created. Okay, so this is our new baseline what we have just created. Okay, now next step is we need to attach this particular baseline to our ESX host. So again, through inventory ESX host updates menu, baselines, attach baseline, and then attach the baseline what we have created, attach baseline or baseline group option. Okay, so I will go back here, go back to the main menu, inventory, then ESXHOST02. This is the ESX host what we need to patch. So select that one, click on updates. So here baseline, we are already into baseline, and then in the baseline there is an option called attached baseline. So we need to just check for that option. So there is an option attach baseline, so I will click on attach and attach baseline or baseline group. This option we need to select. So next step is we need to select the baseline which you have created and click attach. So this is our baseline what we have just created, and I will say attached. So you can see over here this baseline is attached now. Next step is we need to check the compliance against the attached baseline, whether our existing host is compliant with that baseline or not. So we need to check that option. So there is an option called check compliance. Okay, so this option. Okay, so I will just click on check compliance, and it will take a minute or two, and it will show the results over here. Currently it is unknown, but it will check and will show the compliance status against our attached baseline. Okay, so now you can see over here against our attached baseline it is showing non-compliant. That means this baseline needs to be applied to this ESX host. Okay, so 13 patches including 13 critical and 4 security patches are missing. Okay, so 3 non-compliant baselines. What 3 non-compliant baseline? 13 patches 1, 13 critical patches 2, and 4 security patches. So now it is showing non-compliant. Let's move on to the next step. Now once scan is showing non-compliant, select the baseline which we have created earlier and click remediate. Okay, so I will come back here and I will select this particular ESX host baseline and I will click on remediate. Okay, so moving on to the next one. So click remediate one more time. So here we will select our ESX host and I will say remediate one more time. So the remediation has been started in the background. Okay, so we need to wait for some time, and after some time reboot the ESX host, and once rebooted exit from the maintenance mode as well. So this will be our next step, but we need to wait for some time for this remediation to be completed. So I will just wait for 5-10 minutes and I will come back to you with the results. Okay, so as of now you can see the baseline ESX update, it is showing status is showing missing, but once this is the remediation is completed it will show the status as compliant, but that is after 5-10 minutes. I'm just pausing this video for a while. Once this is completed I will come back to you. So as you can see in the background it has already applied our baseline and it has automatically restarted our ESXi host ESX02 server also. That's why it is showing activating software ESXi. Okay, so this will just complete in a minute or so, then we will check our compliance status also against the baseline. So as you can see now the various services are getting up, and now our ESXHOST02 is fully up after the baseline update. It has automatically restarted and now it's fully up. Now let's go back to our PPT and let's see after the rebooted, let's see whether it is showing compliant or not. So the next step will be through vCenter web UI inventory ESXHOST02 updates baselines ESX patch our baseline and check the baseline applicable status as compliant and installation status as installed. So I will go back to my ESX update. I will refresh this console, and if I am just selecting the baseline over here, you can see over here the baseline which I have selected, it is showing installed. Okay, so that is the first confirmation that our baseline is installed, and against it the status is showing compliant. Okay, so these two confirmation we need to check once the baseline is applied on this one. Okay, so both the confirmation we have taken. Let's move on to the next step. Now next step is we need to check our ESXHOST final version after the baseline update. So I will go to the summary tab to check whether it is showing the 8.0.3 246.74464 because that was the version for our baseline. So I will come back here. I will go to the ESXHOST02 and I will click on summary. Okay, so you can see over here the latest version 246.74464 it is showing. Okay, now since our ESXHOST has been restarted, this particular cluster is showing red mark, but it will go up once we are putting this ESXHOST02 out of the maintenance mode. So that will be our next step. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. So next step is we need to migrate our Windows 11 CL if applicable VM from ESXHOST01 to 02. Okay, but before that we need to first make our maintenance mode, exit maintenance mode. So this was the previous step what we have already confirmed. So our ESXHOST is out of maintenance mode also. Okay, and now if I am refreshing the console, it is showing as a normal mode. Okay, now let's see under ESXHOST02 under the VMs whether our Windows 11 CL is showing or not. No, it is not showing. Our Win 11 CL is still showing on ESXHOST02 because we have automatically moved before putting our ESXHOST on ESXHOST02 on maintenance mode. So we'll move back our VM. Okay, so I will right click this one and I will say migrate, change compute resource only, next, and I will put it on ESXHOST02, next, and I will say next one more time and finish. And now you can see it has been disappeared from ESXHOST01 and it has came back to its original ESXHOST02. Okay, and our ESXHOST clusters, that red mark also gone. That means our ESXHOST cluster and both of our ESXHOST are currently running correctly. Okay, so we have patched our ESXHOST02 using the baseline, that depot.zip file, manually through our ESXi vSphere client vCenter server web UI. Okay, so this is how we have completed our first ESXHOST. So next step is now we need to patch our ESXHOST01 also. Okay, so before patching that ESXHOST01 we need to migrate our VMware vCenter VM from ESXHOST01 to 02 because now we are patching ESXHOST01. Okay, so we need to move that particular VM. So our this particular VM is currently on, so we need to do the live vMotion or live migration. So I will select this one I'll right click and I will say migrate, change compute resource only, and then I will select ESXHOST02 because now we are patching ESXHOST01. Okay, I will say next, 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 and finish. So it will take a minute or so to migrate from ESXHOST01 to 02 since it is powered on. So this is the live vMotion. Okay, by the time it is moving, let's see what could be our next step. So next step is we need to repeat all those steps what we have done for ESXHOST02. We need to repeat those steps to ESXHOST01 also. Okay, so from 288 to 290 and 298 to 305. Okay, for putting our ESXHOST01 into maintenance mode, that will be our first step. Then attaching the baseline to ESXHOST01 and then remediating ESXHOST02 with updated baseline. Okay, and rebooting and confirming the latest baseline remediation and build version status. Okay, so all those things we need to confirm by repeating those steps. So as you can see now, our vCenter server VM has been migrated from ESXHOST01. It is disappeared to ESXHOST02. So currently ESXHOST02 is hosting both the VMs. One is on for VMware vCenter server and one is 11CL, Windows 11CL, which is currently powered off. So that's fine. So now let's go back to our PPT. And what we have discussed, we need to repeat those steps 288 to 290 and 298 to 305. So I'm going back, but this is for the ESXHOST01. So I'm going back to 288 now. So 288, what we need to start with. Okay, so the first one is we need to put our ESXHOST01 now. Now I'm just repeating the steps, that's why it is showing the ESXHOST02, but now I will check ESXHOST01. So I will put it on maintenance mode since it is not hosting any active VMs now. I will just say maintenance mode, enter maintenance mode. I will say okay, one more time. Okay, so it will go into ES maintenance mode in a while. Now you can see the non-active VMs, VCLS VMs also disappeared, and now our ESXHOST01 is in maintenance mode. Okay, so this step completed. Let's move on to the next step. This also we have completed. Okay, this also we have confirmed that our ESXHOST01 this time is in maintenance mode. Okay, so 290 we have completed, and the rest ones 291, 292, all these things we have already done while doing the patching. So we are straightforward going for the step number 298. So 298, we need to attach our baseline again to ESXHOST01 this time. Okay, don't get confused, I'm just repeating the steps what we have done for ESXHOST02. So now we are doing it for ESXHOST01. So click on the ESXHOST01, click on updates, baselines, and attach baselines. Click on attached and attach baseline or baseline group, and I will click on this ESX update, the latest baseline what we have created earlier. I will say attach. Right, so this we have already done, attaching the baseline. Okay, next is we need to scan our ESXHOST01 against that baseline by clicking on check compliance option. So check compliance is again against our ESXHOST01. Okay, so I'll just maximize this, and You can see over here, check compliance. And now you can see it is showing non-compliant because it has just finished scanning against the baseline. ESXHOST01 is showing non-compliant. Okay, so let's move on to the next step. So now we need to click on remediate to start patching our ESXHOST01. Okay, so now I will go back here. I will select this particular baseline and I will say remediate. Okay, so it will show me the ESXHOST01 and I will click on remediate one more time. And now you can see it has started remediating. What I will do is I will quickly go back to my main ESXHOST01 console and let's see when it is getting updated and when it is getting restarted. Okay, because in the background it will take 2 minutes or so and it will automatically restart. Okay, so let's see how much time it is taking. And now you can see it has restarted. It has taken just 2 minutes or so. So it has applied that baseline and it has automatically restarted our ESXHOST01, right? So by the time it is restarting, let's move on to our next step. So we have done the remediation and we have done this particular step also for the second confirmation of remediation. So let's move on to the next step. So after some time, reboot the ESXHOST02 that we have already done, right? It has automatically restarted our ESXHOST01 and exit from the maintenance mode. So we need to exit from the maintenance mode once this particular host is fully up. So let's wait for 2 minutes more. Once this is fully up, we will exit from the maintenance mode. Now you can see our services is getting triggered and our ESXHOST01 is fully up now. So let's go back to our web UI. It is currently showing our ESXHOST01 is currently showing in maintenance mode. So I will right click it and I will say maintenance mode and exit from maintenance mode. Okay, so now it has exited from the maintenance mode as well. Let's move on to our PPT for the next step. So now we need to confirm our baseline update installation status and compliance status. So again you have to go to our ESXHOST01 updates baseline and then you need to check the compliance status against our ESX patch baseline. So ESXHOST01, click on updates and you can see over here against the ESX update it is showing compliant and our baseline it is showing installed. The build it is showing 74464, it is showing installed and this is compliant. So both the confirmation it is currently showing. Okay, let's move on to the next step. So next step is finally we need to check our ESXHOST01's version. Although in the PPT again I am saying don't get confused, it is written as 02 because we are repeating those steps, but we are actually checking for ESXHOST01. So let's move on. And in this summary you can see the latest version it is showing as 74464. Okay, Now final step, we need to migrate not Windows 11 CL, because this was the previous step, but we need to migrate our vCenter server VM. Okay, because currently it has been hosted by ESXHOST02. So I will click on VMs and I will select vCenter server, right click and click on migrate, change compute resource only, select ESXHOST01, next, 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 finish. Although it is powered on, but it will vMotion on a live stage. Okay, it will take a minute or so to move it to our ESXHOST01. It will automatically disappear. Now you can see it has automatically disappeared from ESXHOST01 and it has come back to its original ESXHOST01. Okay, it has disappeared from 02 and it has come back to its original ESXHOST01. Okay, so this migration is also successful. So this completes our updates module, ESXHOST updates module, through manual way, through depot.zip file baseline way. Okay, so this is the manual way. In the previous part we have seen how to update through command line mode. Now we have seen through manual GUI mode. Same thing we have done for vCenter server also in the previous parts. So if you haven't seen those videos, please see those videos also to update your vCenter through CLI also and through GUI also. Okay, so the next step we have already completed. We have migrated our vCenter server VM from ESXHOST02 to 01. Okay, and this also we have done. This we have already covered everything, right? All those steps we have already covered the live vMotion functionality of our vCenter server. Okay, so this completes our module. So thank you all for watching this particular video and for your time. This is your host saying goodbye from Swaroop IT Solutions. If you like this particular video, do share it with your IT colleagues and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks once again to all of you. Have a good day.